the next generation of lifestyle awareness that will transform your life significantly. Hi, welcome to Living Wow Out Loud. I'm your host, Callie Ray, founder of the Living Wow Center and author of the book, 8 Lessons Lupus Taught Me from Surviving to Thriving with Autoimmune Diseases. Living Wow is a lifestyle of choice and intention that was born from the truth that, number one, your body is designed to heal if you give it the environment to do so. Number two, you don't need a label or permission to be the expert in your own body. And number three, more than 80% of all diseases can be prevented or reversed by lifestyle. Unfortunately, this isn't what we're taught in our standard American diet and lifestyle culture. This podcast is a voice of hope and community where you will learn how to live a life of thriving that honors and embraces those three truths. Though you are an individual, you are not alone, and you can thrive living wow too. Three things you probably never thought about food. At the time this podcast airs, we are in the middle of the 10-day Taste of Wow with Supercharge. And I hope that you're getting a good foundation and momentum with your Supercharge. But if you aren't yet engaged, then don't miss out. Just get signed up for the next round. I'll make sure to put a link in the show notes. But what to eat is definitely on my mind right now. And what to eat to thrive with autoimmune disease is definitely the question I get asked the most. Food as medicine was definitely what got my attention and started me on the transformation journey from surviving to thriving. Although it's not everything, food is by far the essential foundation in healing your body. It can be the catalyst to move from a sick cycle to a healthy cycle. There's so much more to food than meets the eye, or the taste buds, I guess. It's understandable that most people don't recognize the potential that's in the bite you're taking. So the first thing that you probably never thought about food is the biochemical individuality. One thing that I've learned is that one diet doesn't fit all. Moreover, your own personal diet needs to change throughout your life. So it's not as easy as set it and forget it. This personal observation is supported by research coming out of the microbiome, genetics, and lifestyle medicine. Have you ever noticed how some people can pack away whatever they want and remain thin? Some people thrive on a vegan diet, while others thrive on a keto diet. How is it that in a family where you have the same environment, same genetics, and same diet, that you can have such different body types and energy levels? The answer is your unique individuality within your microbiome, your genetics, and your lifestyle. And I'd even add your life season. None of us are the same, which speaks to the necessity of understanding your biochemical individuality in nutrition. The second is lifestyle implications. Another consideration is the process of eating and digestion. Did you know that how you eat could be as important as what you eat? Mindfulness has gained traction in the mainstream over recent years, but most people don't apply it to eating. Rather, a grab and go or chug and chuck economy is driven by the sad life. The problem is what happens inside when you're fueling up in an on-the-go situation. Digestion begins to occur even before ingestion. Take a minute to think about what you're planning to eat at your next meal. Immediately, you can feel changes in your salivation and mood as you anticipate ingesting the food, yet you haven't taken a single bite. Your digestion starts with thinking about the food, seeing the food, and smelling the food. Once you take the first bite, the system continues to break down the foods by biting, chewing, and swallowing the foods, releasing information to the esophagus and stomach that there is incoming for preparation of acids and chemicals to break down the food into fuel. This transport system, running the full length of your digestive tract, is extremely intricate, interconnected, and automatic, delivering the nutrients into your bloodstream and throughout your systems to power your body. Until it's not, because you didn't think about what you were going to eat. You didn't begin the process. Then you didn't prepare anything. Instead, you grabbed a packaged meal, had it delivered, or stopped for takeout. Finally, you sat down in front of the screen of your choice to escape and eat your meal. What seems innocuous at the time isn't connected to the heartburn you experience 30 minutes after your meal. It's not connected to the difficulty of falling or staying asleep. It's not connected to weight gain because you consumed 2 to 3 times the calories your body needed for fuel. Baloney. Of course, the reality is that it is, in fact, insidious because it is connected to all of these underlying issues because you are eating in a sympathetic state or a stressed state, not a parasympathetic state, a relaxed state. Digestion is a process of the parasympathetic system, and when you take it offline, the entire system can be impacted. This is the simplest hack of all. Be mindful when you are fueling up, not only about what you are putting in your mouth, but also about the environment and mindset. So here's some steps to take. Number 1, plan. Think about what you're going to eat and why. Number 2, prepare. Get the ingredients, wash, prep, cook, chill, whatever's appropriate for the food that you're consuming. Number 3, appreciate. Express gratitude for the food that you have and the fuel it provides to your body. Number 4, consume. Eat your food appreciating and recognizing all that it is and all that it does for you. Be mindful of the flavors and textures as you bite, chew, and swallow your foods. Number 5, review. How do you feel after you eat? Did that food make you feel light and energized or heavy and bloated? Number 6, adjust. If the foods and amount you ate gave you energy and fuel, then you want to make note of integrating them into your individual diet. If the foods or amount you ate made you uncomfortable, lethargic, moody, crampy, bloated, or anything less than fueled, then you may want to make note of eliminating them from your individual diet. Finally, number 3, don't eat poison. I know that sounds dramatic and obvious, but hear me out. Do you remember the Mr. Yuck stickers that were given in elementary school to take home and put on all of the bottles of cleaning supplies so they wouldn't be drank by little kids? Whatever happened to Mr. Yuck? Were things like bleach and toilet cleaner really so enticing to us that we needed a sticker to know that they smelled and tasted like poison? Most people think of poison as a toxic substance that leads to death. The internet defines poison as a substance that is capable of causing illness or death of a living organism when introduced or absorbed. It took me a while to understand why my body would react when I ate processed foods. It wasn't until years into my research of nutritional healing that I finally made the connection. Not all poison is obvious. If you've ever wondered why rodents or pests would eat poison in traps, it's because it's laced with smell and taste that is enticing. By the time they feel the effects of what they ate, they're dead. Sadly, but no less damaging, the same thing is happening to you when you are consuming processed foods. This is the reason I'm so adamant that no matter what your autoimmune disease, no matter what your biochemical individuality, no matter what your age, gender, ethnicity, processed foods are poison. Most people react to that statement with justification. Just because something isn't healthy doesn't make it poison. True. But processed foods aren't just unhealthy, they are poison. They are just beginning to truly understand why. And again, it comes back to the microbiome. Maybe you've heard of the lawsuits around Roundup and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, leukemia, and pediatric brain cancer. These diseases have been linked directly back to repeated exposure to this herbicide, and as a result, many class action lawsuits have been filed to compensate individuals who have been affected. Roundup is also known as glyphosate, which is where it gets really scary. This herbicide was introduced in the 1970s and has been widely used throughout the United States on crops, lawns, gardens, you name it. I used to use it in the cracks in the sidewalks where my weeds would pop up. Because it was so widely used and presumed safe, it was then put into the actual DNA of seeds for crops, what is referred to as GMO, or genetically modified organism. This practice was successfully integrated into agriculture, with most of the wheat, corn, and soybeans in the US being GMO. The whole point of herbicides, pesticides, preservatives, and antibiotics is to prevent microorganisms from taking over, us versus them. This has been the perspective of agriculture, the food industry, and healthcare since the 1950s. Now we're beginning to understand that killing off these microorganisms is detrimental to our survival as humans. If you kill off the bugs, you will eventually kill off the humans. Research is linking all autoimmune conditions to leaky gut, which is a condition of intestinal permeability where nutrients and waste leak through the guts of the intestines rather than being absorbed or passed through the digestive system. Leaky gut links back to the microbiome of the gut, which is being widely studied with new understanding and implications emerging rapidly. What is coming to the forefront is the damage that herbicides, pesticides, preservatives, antibiotics, and antifungals are doing to the microbiome. What we now know is that anything that's meant to kill microorganisms has the potential to kill you. Make no mistake about it. Whether it is meant to make crops not have weeds, whether it is meant to make foods last longer in the supply chain, whether it is in small enough doses that it doesn't kill you immediately, whether it is packaged to entice you with smell and taste, understand that it is poison. This one is a bit tougher to modify than getting into a sympathetic state for eating because the complexities of the microbiome are just beginning to be understood. The incessant and excessive use of all of these substances in our culture is pervasive. But all is not lost. The good news is that these little guys are resilient. Being aware of consuming GMOs and preservatives will go a long way in healing your gut. Providing a probiotic environment for eating lots of plants can heal the damage done, but you can't heal it until you stop it. The 1-2 punch? Stop eating poison and start eating fuel. Your microbiome will love you for it, and you will begin to love the foods that love you back. So much love. Hey, if you find value here on the Living Wow Out Loud podcast, will you please share it with your friends and take a minute to rate it on the platform that you're listening on? That's how we live wow out loud. You know that more people need hope and they need the messages shared. And that's how we get recognized among all the noise. This is where you find your voice. Will you please share and subscribe and rate so that we can grow? After my personal transformation from surviving to thriving with autoimmune diseases, I was completely astounded that the experience was not what I expected it to be. Instead of resenting my body and being forever trapped with a legacy of bad genes, as I had believed would be my fate, I looked and felt 20 years younger. I had dropped weight that had plagued me for decades, eliminated chronic pain that no doctor, therapy, or medicine could relieve, and found energy that I hadn't had since I was 16 years old. Because this is not what I expected, and because I wish someone would have told me that there is another way than sad, I wrote the book, 8 Lessons Lupus Taught Me from Surviving to Thriving with Autoimmune Diseases. As I began to share the book and the message of change your story, Living Wow was born. After years of continuing to learn and study how and why lifestyle has such an impact on disease and the world being torn apart by a global pandemic, I can't stand by any longer keeping it to myself. You have to understand that the power is in your hands. The power is in your body. The power is in your lifestyle. The Living Wow Center is a holistic wellness practice that utilizes the framework of the Living Wow lifestyle to identify system failures or maintenance needs. Whether you just need a tune-up or a complete systems overhaul, we support you as an individual to get back out on the journey and living wow. We will work with you to determine levels of function, needs, tools, resources, and or providers that may be best equipped to guide you as you step out of the negative health cycle and turn it into a positive health cycle. The Living Wow Center offers a revolutionary, comprehensive approach to healing, coaching, and support that is necessary in our complex, sad world. Schedule your complimentary consultation today to see how Living Wow can support you. I am super excited to announce Supercharge for you. We are changing the name of the Living Wow Challenge to more clearly represent the monthly support program where you take Living Wow for a 10-day spin. I know 10 days doesn't seem like much, but it is. And that's why it's now Supercharge. Living Wow Supercharge is a 10-day supported focus on eating a clean, nutritionally dense diet with intention as you jumpstart into the Living Wow lifestyle. You will feel lighter, more energetic, and empowered with your nutrition. You will experience the power of nutritional healing with less pain, more energy, and a better mood. The Supercharge includes a comprehensive 10-day seasonal menu, recipes, videos, quick start guides, and links to resources. You begin with a prep, then daily support, and wrap up with a review. This is the fastest, most immersive way to get started and feel the effects of Living Wow now. Right now, go to livingwowcenter.com. That's livingwowcenter.com to sign up now for the next Supercharge running the 1st to the 10th of the month. Early sign up ensures you a spot and gives you time to complete your preparation assignments as you gear up to Supercharge. Wow, you just finished another episode of Living Wow Out Loud. I hope you leave today empowered to live your best life and thrive. If you're ready to jump in and learn a little bit more about Living Wow, come check out the Living Wow Center. That's livingwowcenter.com. And maybe consider joining our next Living Wow Challenge. We run the 1st to the 10th of every single month. See you soon.